Hello people of YouTube and welcome back to New Nerdington. Before we start, my slight apologies for last episode. I recorded 4 episodes in one go and I was not paying attention very much anymore. So I wasn't very talkative and I was feeling a bit slow by the end of it. And I also did a thing that I'm gonna completely undo now, so my apologies for that as well. But before we undo that thing, which is this weirdness over here, I'm gonna fix our garbage problem, because yes, we have a severe garbage problem. What I think we should do is build our garbage system on the other side of the road. Also, I installed a couple of new mods, among which a mod that just includes a whole bunch of new roads, which is quite exciting. Because roads in this game are, they're basic and functional, but, you know, traffic in this game, less so. So, I installed a mod that includes just a whole variety of new types of roads, which is very nice indeed. I haven't used these yet, actually. I also, just a slight disclaimer, I have an idea of what I was going to do, what I am going to do in this game from now on, because I have been playing a little bit. Let's put on Roads Anarchy. I made a derivative of this map and just played around in that for a bit, just so that I'd have an idea of, you know, what to do in the future, where to take this. Okay, let's make that go around the corner. So this, boring as it may be, I've already done once before. I've already built a garbage disposal system over here on that side of the highway, so that it's not in the way of our friendly people who live there. So let's get to that first. Let's see, one there, one of you guys there, and a couple of these. I think that's enough to start with. Let's give them water as well. Just there. Perfect. Okay. Those guys should provide power for each other, I think, because I think the garbagey guys do deliver power as well, which is kind of nice. But just in case, and actually also just to, you know, connect everything together, let's have these guys get into the whole power grid. Nice. And that should give us a little bit more power to play with in general. Good. Very good stuff. Let's empty you. You are being emptied, which is good. I'm gonna empty you as well, and I'm gonna yes, I'm gonna remove this entire section and move it to the other side of the road. But before we, or the road, the other side of the river. But before we do that, I'm gonna do something very necessary, and also slightly unfortunate because we put a lot of money and effort into that. I'm gonna delete this again. So let's get that done, as if it never happened. Okay, then what my intention actually is to make a bit of a bridge situation over here and have the industry over here and put offices in this section instead, just so that this side of the river is completely unpolluted and this side of the river can, I don't know, become a desolate wasteland for all I care. Also, I'm gonna change this weird tram system. I quite like that there's a tram in here, so I'm gonna keep the fact that there is a tram, you know, in place and have it loop around back into this area, that sort of thing. But I am gonna change it a little bit. I'm gonna put the trams back on ground level, because this just, it works, but it's a bit dumb. I think, at least. It's a bit weird that you have to go up and down and up and down. I think it looks a bit stupid. But right, our garbage problem should be resolved, not dissolved. Well, dissolved as well, I guess, as soon as they go in the incinerators. But our garbage problem should be resolved in just a tiny bit. We are very good for money, surprisingly so. We are yeah, let's just crack on with bridging over to the other side, I suppose. How are we gonna do this? I think what we should start with, because we are playing like a scenario type of thing, not go for a proper highway right away, perhaps, but instead maybe go for like one of these, a 4-lane national highway instead of like a large highway type of situation. So let's see. 24, is that too much? I think 24 might be a bit much. Let's go from there. Oh, that's kind of nice actually, I quite like that. But I need a bit more space because I don't want to hit the border of the map quite like that. Can I go? Okay, those guys are slightly in the way. That is a little bit inconvenient. Okay, that is fixed. Those should be connected again. Sewage treatment, yeah, went up again. That's nice. Alright, let's build that bridge I was talking about. Okay, I'm not entirely certain how we should go about this, because it's being a bit annoying. As in, it's going down. There, does that work? That is not what would happen with an actual bridge. And also, that just broke the electricity supply again. Not very handy indeed. I want this to just stay, like, straight. Okay, that's a bit higher than I anticipated it to be, but I think that works. Maybe. Maybe. I'm just gonna say that that works. And that's a 4-lane road, so that should do us for now as well. Okay, what shall we do about this then? I think, yes, I do have a new building, a train station that is lovely, but not quite what I need right now. So let's have you go down slightly. Can I do that without one of these guys? Yes. Like that. It's a bit weird that there's not a pole underneath, you know, this area, but it's fine, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, I think just going down all the way should be fine. There-ish. Yeah? Yeah, that works for me. Okay, now let's pull this all the way up to the highway, roughly to there about. And then we need to figure out a way to connect the highway onto here. Do I have any nice presets? I know I have a new building. I don't really care about my new buildings. I have this, just your standard 3-way intersection. Not quite what I need. A bit large, and that will just not fit because it'll go over the border. I know I have a new train station. Go away. I have an idea. How about we make an elevated roundabout over this and then have our turn-offs come off there. I don't know if we have quite enough space for that, but we can at least give it a shot. I think that might work. Let's see. Let's do a... Should we go for a 2-wide or a 3-wide? I think let's go for a 3-wide. We have the money to spare. Up there. Yes, let's go up there. Okay, that is definitely an above the ground roundabout. Let's connect that up to the highway. Let's see. How are we gonna go about this? I think off-ramps that slightly like stay on the ground. Okay, I'm gonna turn off these annoying things, the road guidelines, because I don't really need them right now. Can we get a corner of... Yes. Oh, that's apparently out of town limits. There? Are you gonna work there? Yeah, that should be okay, I guess. I think that looks quite alright. Like this. It's a bit steep, though, so we have a new mod for that, which allows me to drag this sort of stuff down there. Oh, that's much nicer. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a start. Okay, let's do that same thing sort of for the other on and off ramps. Okay, we've got the on and off ramps. Let's see, is that too steep? That's a little bit too steep still. Let's do something slight about that, like so. And pull you forward a little bit. Okay, I think that's nice. That works. That is not ridiculously steep either. The city needs more power. What are you complaining about? Okay, that is moderately inconvenient. What should we do about this? I think temporarily, maybe, let's actually just plant an oil plant down here. Are you gonna go to work? Yes. What's that gonna do for electricity? That's okay. Maybe that means that we can get rid of that coal plant already. How are we doing for electricity now? That is still more than fine. Okay. That is good. This is still connected, although we do, I think, need to upgrade our sewage system soon. But not quite yet. Let's pull that back 1 or 2 bits. Ooh, we're very much running out of money. That's a bit of a risk doing things this way. Doing a big construction project like this is costing me a lot of money, and you know, that money is not coming in quite as fast as we need it to go. So, slightly risky, but I think we'll be alright in the somewhat long run. And otherwise, there's always loans we can take out. Okay. Let's do an action like this. Maybe? How far can I pull that back? Like that. And then in there. Then I'm gonna try to do a decent on and off ramp for that road as well. But an on and off ramp for the roundabout here. So let's see. Like this. Okay. How are we gonna go about this? Maybe just a straight road, pulling it from there to like... That's almost what I want. Something more like that, yeah. And then one thereabouts as well. I think that might work. I hope that isn't gonna cause weird congestion everywhere. No, I think that should be okay. Let's adjust these slightly, make them a bit nicer. Pull that back a little bit. And do... Can I pull them inwards like that? Is that still gonna work? Ooh, that's making that go a bit wibbly. But for flow, that should be nicer. I can't really see because of the darkness, but I think that should be okay-ish. Emphasis on ish. That is a bit weird and tall though, so let's up that a little bit. That's nicer. Yeah, that's a lot nicer. Okay, so that flows nicely on there. That flows nicely on there. This road goes all the way across. Yeah, let's see. That's the start of the plan, at least. That's the start of the plan set in motion. Let's see if we can start putting down some actual offices and stuff here, because that's what I eventually want to end up doing anyway, putting in offices like so. So we might as well just start dezoning the actual industry now, because we have a decent amount of educated workers, so we don't really need the industry exclusively. I just hope that doesn't put too much of a dip in our money. Okay, how are you doing over here? Okay, I've been building for a little bit, but here is the final result. This is the start of the road on the other side of the water. And it took a while because, well, as you can see, first of all, it's big. But also, this stuff needed quite a lot of managing. So this is a mod that allows me to change what lanes cars are allowed to take, essentially. Because if I wouldn't have had this mod, people that, for example, say they come off this or they come up this on-ramp, but they would have also been allowed to turn off in here, which would have completely disrupted all flow. I can show you how it works briefly. If I can take that one and put it onto there, you can see that the arrows on the road change. So now the cars would technically be allowed to move in there as well, but that would completely disrupt traffic flow. And that was how it was before I did all of this organization stuff. And also this lane, for example, was not in use before. People would only go in this lane to go back onto the highway in that direction. But now everything is managed and it should work as, you know, it is supposed to. So we can properly start doing our industry side of things on this side of the road, which I think is quite an exciting step, because that means that we can clean up this whole section. Also, you are done, so you are just eating up money. You can get going. Very nice indeed. And look, our garbage problems have solved themselves, sort of. I gave them a bit of a nudge. But yeah, putting the industry on the other side of the river and having, like, giving it its own highway is going to really solve some of our beginning traffic issues on that side of the river. So I think this, all in all, is going to be a very good step for us. And also, it kind of just looks cool. I'm not quite sure about this. This looks a bit dopey. Maybe I'll just make this into a more subtle, sort of continued elevated highway. But we'll see about that later. It's not really relevant. It'll function just fine as is. Okay, so there's a ridiculous demand for industry. Let's get building with this stuff. What road is this? This is one of those. It's actually just a normal, ordinary, kind of boring type of road. Let's have that go around there and then straight up in that direction. I think this will do as good as like an industry section. Now what I also want to do is do industry in separate sections so that each section has its own ramp onto the motorway, basically. Because industry gets congested ridiculously fast, and that is just something I would like to avoid in the future, because it's slightly annoying to deal with. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it like that. I'm not gonna give each of these their own entrance onto this main way. I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger, perhaps up to... Oh, please let me do 10. Thank you. There you go. That was not that difficult. Okay. So like this, maybe have them be 3 of these blocks wide, something along those lines, and then have just a service road connecting them, or something like that. I think that would work a bit better. So let's see. So that road can stay there as a service road. I'm just gonna remove like the traffic that can drive there. I can adjust like all sorts of weird traffic rules with this mod I have now, which is kind of exciting. And it just really cleans up traffic a whole lot. Let's put that there. And then one of these guys so that people don't park there. People can't park on these modded roads. These little rocks and stuff are a bit annoying. For the precision movement of like this sort of movement, I needed to install a mod that is trees and rocks and stuff that allows them to stay where they are, which, you know, is not quite optimal. So let's get rid of those. Yes, money. We have money. We're doing very good for money. Surprisingly good, actually. How are we gonna go about this? Hang on. Like so. There we go. Brush size large. That gets rid of all the bushes, which there weren't any, so that was useless. This gets rid of all the trees in that area, and this should get rid of all the rocks. Are there any rocks left? Nope, that definitely did its job. Marvelous. Okay, but I think this is a very good base. Let's plonk down some industry in there. Let's then also, yes, industry can go there, but let's make this a road where, let's see, I think garbage is okay, SOS is okay because that's emergency services, and perhaps buses as well. I think this would be a good pass-through for buses. Yeah, that works. Okay, and because it's only one stretch of road, I don't need to apply it to all road segments between 2 junctions. Okay, they're already building there, which is nice to see. How did I actually put... Yeah, I did put the right stuff there. but there is nothing here yet, so let's take care of that for these guys, shall we? Like so. And that needs to be connected to the water supply on the other side of the river. And I will probably, quite desperately, let's put a power plant. Do you fit there? Oh yes, you're gonna go there. That is very lovely indeed. And then I can get rid of this power supply again. I'm calling it a power supply, it's a power plant. A power supply is a little bit smaller than a plant like this. And then let's have you run out there. What did I do last time? Last time I did something relatively interesting with these windmills here. I made like a path across the river. I think I'm gonna do that again. So let's have you go there, just across the road, in there, and across the road. Okay, maybe that is enough. Let's have a look. Okay, let's see. So that one then would move thereabouts. That one would move there. And is that enough? No, that's just not enough, so I'm gonna put another one in there and spread them out slightly more evenly. There. Okay, that is very nice. That is very nice indeed. So this section now has energy, and it has, water as well. So that's all very good and well. Let's put down a fire station that can go there, because that fits there, just behind the power pylons, and also a police station, which also fits in there, which is marvelous. And that is very good stuff. So we now have our industry section back up and running. We're still making good money, which is nice. There's no high demand for residential, which is nice as well, because that means that we don't have to worry about this section for a little bit. Are you getting less polluted yet? Yes, there's you can very easily see that there's like a low fog, a smoggy fog hanging there, but not here. So this is already not as polluted anymore. And we can get rid of a bit more industry on this side. Let's do it there, and perhaps you can go as well, and let's have you go too. So let's then put offices back in place, offices back here as well. I think that should be all right for the time being. Good stuff. Okay, and there as well. Okay, I think did I just do that again? No. Okay. Right, let's see. How are we doing for water? We were running out of water, I seem to remember. We are doing all right, but considering we are okay for this stuff as in money, I can put a few more in place without really worrying. So let's have another one of you guys there. And like that, water availability, sewage availability is going up. Marvelous. Okay, I think we're in very good shape here. I think we're in very good shape indeed. And the city is looking... I mean, it's looking alright. It's a bit naked still. So, since we're doing okay for money, and we have our industry and commercially... what do you call it? Offices. It's still technically industry, just not filthy types of industry. Since we have all of that in place now, I think we can start doing some... fluffing up. let's go with fluffing up. I think that's a good term to use there. So I want to have some bike paths that run across between these two areas. Oh, actually, before we start fluffing up, possibly we should have some bus transport that goes to the other side of the river, so that people can get to work more efficiently. I think that sounds like a pretty decent plan. Okay, let's see. Where should we have... I think we should start there. Have bus stops sort of along there-ish. I feel like that might be a bit much, but people, you know, they might want to use the bus for other stuff than work as well. So there we go. Do we have it go in there as well? No, I think we're gonna just have this bus stop go from downtown, or bus line from downtown into this area. So let's add a stop there. Perhaps there. And then... Is that too little? I feel like that's a bit low on the amount of bus stops. There. There. And back out. So now people can get to work properly. Okay, so back in to there. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, fluffing up. What are we going to do for fluffing up? I think what we're going to do is speed through time a little bit and wait until it's day and then determine what we're going to do for fluffing up. Okay, the sun is coming up. I'm making a metric ton of money. I think what we're going to do for fluffing up is what I said for... these guys, for the trams. I think we're gonna level the trams with the ground and make it look a little bit nicer that way. I think this road works actually. I quite like this road here. I like that it connects off from the you know, from the roundabout and off from the main highway. That all works, but I do just want the trams on the ground. Unfortunately, I can't pause, so that means that I am slightly screwed with tram lines just for the time being. So let's do this a bit quickly if we can. I need those. But before we do that, delete that. And oh, come on. You need to connect into that road there. Lovely. And connect onto there, because this automatically becomes like a proper turn-off and stuff where people can actually walk. Let's have a look at that actually. Okay, I'm saying proper turn-off, but you know, this car has sunken into the ground, but cars can still drive and stuff, and it doesn't look... I mean, it looks a bit glitchy, but it doesn't look too far off. Are people actually crossing over here? Yeah, she's crossing over. These guys are crossing over. I like that there's a bit of leeway in the game. I think these guys are actually parked here. We can change the road type at some point. I don't want people really parked there to begin with. So, yeah, but otherwise, looks a bit dopey, but it works. Right, so let's keep going. Let's remove this section here. And keep going with tram line from there to there to there. Is that connected up properly? I think that is connected up. All nice and proper. Very good indeed. The tram lines are complaining a little bit, but as you can see, they do just keep going. So I think they should be all right. But we can have a look at that. Are you all right? You don't seem to be. You seem to be complaining a little bit. Okay, let's drag you around a little bit. Put you back. No? Is that not okay? What are you complaining about? Nothing. Okay, so that's all good. Anything else on the line that is complaining? No, I think we're okay. We made that look a tiny bit nicer. That actually looks kind of cool with the... and people are crossing over there properly. I was thinking of making this all into concrete, and also that looks a bit odd. I don't know what that is, but it looks kind of... I mean, I quite like it, but it's a bit weird. I don't know really what that is. Can we... Let's see. Can we upgrade this? I don't really want to upgrade all of that. What happens if I click that? I don't know. This is doing a lot of weird stuff. A lot of stuff seems to be glued together. So, I see. I see. It's just that this is being a bit weird. Because these are all tiny sections of separate road. Oh yes, and there we're glitching through. Okay, so it's far from optimal, you know, but it works? Question mark. Let's see, where are you going? Are you the bus that's going to there? I think you might be. That's very nice. You have a lot of passengers on board. Okay, this looks weird as all hell. If you excuse me for a second, I'm gonna see if I can fix this up. Okay, there we go. I fluffed it up. I think what I just did, which you in the comments have probably noticed, is I used roads instead of just tramline, which made it look a bit weird and thick and not quite optimal. But I think I fixed it, and it still works. I mean, this looks a bit dopey, doesn't it? I'm gonna change those roads, I think, because I don't really want cars parked there. What kind of road shall we change it into? Shall we try these? Maybe that works. Yes, I think that has worked. That now means that cars just don't park here. It still looks a bit glitchy, but it's absolutely a lot better than it was. So let's keep going like that, because cars parked there just doesn't really work, does it? Let's see, last one. Probably. Was that the last one? Yes, that was the last one. Okay. And then also, I don't want cars parked in the roundabout here. So do we have anything? You are just the normal. Well, let's do you. Let's give you a bit of green to go around, shall we? I think that might just look a bit nicer. Also, what we could potentially do instead is give this a bike path, because I quite like bikes. I'm Dutch, for the ones of you who don't know, and one of the stereotypes that we have for people from the Netherlands is that we like bikes. You know, so, ooh, that's buildings. So, you know, I might at some point go a little bit insane with my bike paths idea. But this works. This works. Now there is still cars definitely parked on the side of the road here, which I kind of want to avoid as well. Maybe we should make that into a nice grassy boulevard. Does that actually do anything? Let's see. A 2-lane, one-way road with decorative trees, decorations, lower noise pollution. That's quite useful to know. Supports low traffic and increases land value. Okay, so let's do that, because I want this to have nice high land value. Let's go. Let's do it to it. Just because the trees will look very nice, and it will mean that people do not park on the side of the road here. Which, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. Why are you complaining? I'll have you checked out in a second. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything, the parked cars, but this just looks a whole bunch. Come on, have a look at this. That looks so much nicer and greener. I would love it if cities actually looked like this, green and stuff. Okay, okay, that just resolved itself apparently. Let's have a look. Bus stops. You. Bus stop. What are you complaining about? Let us see. I don't know. Why are you being annoying? You are just not connected to anything. Okay, let's drag you up there and then back down there. Are you connected again? I think you're connected again. So that all worked out just fine. Yeah, but I like the way that looks. I like the way that looks a lot more than the way it used to look. Trams still are able to go everywhere. This is still a bit of a mess, but I think we'll fix that in the next episode, possibly. This is all working. The only problem I can see now is that people aren't really getting to work, perhaps. So, next time expand on our residential area, possibly, and invest in a bit of public transport to the other side. Maybe we should do something with trains. I think that might work out quite well for us. If we have a train sort of express that goes... I want a train that goes like around here, maybe into the center here. Then around, across, into the industry area. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, thank you so much for watching this episode of City Skylines with me. No pausing, but so far, so good. And I will see you next time. Ciao!